Greetings, traveler. Before you start listening to the show, I need to tell you that half of this show, from about 40 minutes until the end, will be scratched away because of some audio issues that we didn't notice while we recorded it, and apparently it wasn't audible on the stream as well, but all of the local recordings and the downloaded video from Twitch had my microphone just going bonkers, so we cannot use it. But hopefully we will make it up next week, and you still enjoy this show. Thank you so much. Greetings, weary traveler, come, warm yourself by the fire and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, and of course tales of Tamriel. I'm your host Arkhaniir, and I'm joined by, well, the Nord who actually got his Nordic resistance back and recovered from his elvish sickness, Aggelos. How's it going?
Well, the problem is, when you are around elves like Arkhaniir so much, their diseases rub off on you. You know, I'm not an Argonian. I don't have enhanced disease resist. So it's, you know, you catch the elf cooties.
Well, if it's because of me, and if you were a proper Nord, you wouldn't catch such diseases from everybody else. Now, am I getting sick? No, because I'm a proper Nord. So I don't get any high elven disease or whatever. It's a you problem, Ag. It's a you problem.
No, see, what you're missing is it's not a me problem. It's you can't catch a disease when you're patient zero. You give it to everyone else.
No, but you don't catch them as well when you are also not. You know, when you're a proper. Oh my God! It's okay. We are not gonna get anywhere if you continue with this, are we?
Yeah. No.
Also, yeah. So this is episode 210, and we don't have Lotus and Promethean.
No.
So it's sort of a throwback episode, just between me and Aggelos, at a very sleep-deprived episode.
I'm with you on that. I'm actually exhausted. I was out killing large swaths of plants with my weed eater just before.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm tired.
Mean, I really envy your backyard, like I do, whenever you post videos and photos.
Mm-hmm.
But then, doing all the actual work that is needed to be done to maintain that area in summer, I don't envy that. That's nah.
The problem is, because there's that stream real close, we have all those swamp plants.
Oh.
And I literally was out there with grass that was up to my knees and some reeds that were up to my chest in height.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and it grows like that, and I can't take a normal mower over it because a mower won't make it through that. And even when it's low, mowers are kind of hit or miss because if the ground's too wet, it'll sink. So about twice a year, at the beginning of the season and at the end of the season, I just have to sit down and dedicate myself with a weed eater and just go nuts with it because that's the only thing that'll get through it.
Yeah, that's...
So yes, every time I send you pictures, it's after I've manicured it. And it looks so great, right? But yeah, no, it didn't count the 8 to 10 hours of work it took me to tame that jungle.
Well, I mean, I know what to do.
It.
I mean, I'll just come visit you one day after you've done all the work and just enjoy the newly, like, oh man, words are difficult to come by today. I'm newly
I understand.
Fixed yard. There we go. Fixed. The word I was looking for is not fixed, but it is now.
Manicured yard. Yeah, I know what you
right. Yes.
And shout out to the chat room, and of course to Ryestrad Gamer, who has subbed to us for 10 months in a row. Welcome to the Shield Wall, buddy.
Well, thank you so very much. Now that brings us actually to, our supporters that we gotta give a shout out to, and we have a couple new people this week. Starting with Michael D on Patreon and Doctor Who Dat 219 on Patreon as well. Thank you so very much. It always helps, and we really, really do appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. And before we move on, if you haven't seen Doctor Who, you really should. She's great. She actually is a PS4 streamer, I believe. I know she's a streamer. I don't know what console she plays on, but definitely check out her streams. She goes live fairly often. If you're not following her, check her out. You will not regret it. She is a really great person overall, and she's just fun to watch. So check out her streams.
I was gonna do the shout out after I read the review from her, but there we go.
Well,
we've done it in advance.
We kept it within the shout out was done right after the Patreon supporters were announced, and now we can get to reviews.
What? Okay, we've been doing this show for...
Oh, she's in chat. Doctor Who, that's in chat.
Yeah, she
so
is in chat.
So it's PS4. All right.
Now, we've been doing this show for a long time. When did you ever see me properly follow the show notes? I mean, you don't follow the show notes. Whenever you host the show...
I'm not even reading them. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Whenever you host the show, you jump into Tales before everything else. But in the show notes, game news comes first. The show notes that you wrote that you don't follow. So...
Yeah, but see, I wrote those show notes like 5 years ago, and over time we realized that what sets our show apart from almost everyone else is the way that we tell the stories and the tales. So we decided to, early on, and again, since you are the main share, that's up to you, but I'm just explaining, we actually switched it, and I was just always too lazy to change the notes.
Well,
so you could
have said that. You could have said that when you just left me on the main chair. So I would kept up with the same style.
But almost everyone tells us they can get the news anywhere. They can even, they like us for the news because we put our spin on stuff. Mm-hmm. But what people really love about this show is our tales and how we approach the world.
Which is exactly why we shouldn't do the tales right off the bat. Just make
them listen all the way through.
Yeah. Build up expectations and things like that.
All right.
I know some stuff. I might still be a noob.
That makes a lot of sense. Make them sit through the entire show. That way we get the whole view, and then give them what they want.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That I saved that very nicely. I'm proud of myself.
That's good. I like it.
Now, this show was actually going to be an Aggelos only show. I wanna mention that before we actually start, because I haven't slept in the last 20 hours, and by the time this show ends, it'll probably be like 22, something like that. And then I have to go back to work tomorrow for some overtime fun times. So yeah, I was like, okay, maybe I should leave Aggelos to do it. And then I learned that Lotus won't be here. And then I learned that Promethean is not going to be here. So it was going to be Aggelos and Aggelos only. And then I thought to myself, okay, that's a very dangerous thing to do, leaving Aggelos to do a show alone. Because when there's at least Lotus and Promethean is there, they distract him. So he tells his lies and slander, but then he gets distracted by actual stuff. But if no one is there...
It would be 100 a propaganda show. Oh, I mean like hardcore propaganda show.
So, I know. That's why I'm here with almost a day of not sleeping. I'm not leaving you alone on the show again. Like if I have like something stabbed on my chest, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna make sure you are not here. Either one of those cases.
Doctor Who that actually says you're a superhero arc. How early is it for you to be part of the show? I think it's like 4 a.m. for you.
Yeah, so 9 p.m. Eastern when we start is the 4 a.m. Saturday morning for me. And then by the time we end and I sleep, it's usually 7 a.m. So basically every Friday to Saturday, unless I leave the show to Aggelos, which I sometimes do because I just can't stay awake. But when I do, it's like... I go to work on Friday morning, wake up at around 7:38 a.m. and then I sleep back on 7:38 a.m. on Saturday and wake up, edit, upload, then either go out or sleep more. It changes, depends on how tired I am, but I'm used to it. years of playing on North American mega server, it trained me basically, because every event, everything we did, every dungeon was like at 4 a.m. So I'm trained for this. Now that I think of it, you trained me for this.
I did.
You basically, you manipulated me into dropping everything on show on me.
I like to use the word conditioned. I conditioned you. It sounds a little nicer. It means the same thing, but it's totally true.
We'll go with conditioned.
Yeah.
5 years
makes me sound less like a monster, but yeah, manipulated. That's right.
You can be a supervillain. This is supervillain level of planning. 5 years of it, jeez.
And yet, I still can't get you to run dungeons with me. So
I keep telling you to remind me when it is not a weekday, because I can't stay awake until 4 a.m. on a weekday.
I know.
Then I'll die at work tomorrow or the other day. So all you gotta do is, like, on a Saturday evening, like around another 9-10 p.m. Eastern, you just gotta remind me, okay, don't sleep, log in. And then I won't sleep and I'll log in and we'll do the dungeons. It's that simple. But if you don't remind me, I'll forget.
All right. I'll have to figure out a time that I'll be able to do it, because Saturdays I wouldn't, because I think I'll be in church during Saturday night. But does that include Friday night? Well, we always do this on Friday night, so that's going to make it even more difficult. I mean, Sunday's your Monday, so that's also an issue.
Here's an idea. Here's an idea. Another week when Lotus or Promethean is not here, we can, instead of the pure podcast format, we can run the Redstone dungeons in sort of like mix podcast gameplay style. How does that sound?
I'm totally for that. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, there we go. We can do that.
I'll even read all the books we find.
Oh,
and
that's
notes
a good idea.
And everything like that, because we'll listen to the audio, so people can hear the audio for those dungeons. Mm-hmm. We'll read all the books and letters. We'll describe the stuff we're doing. Yeah, we'll make an adventure out of it.
There we go. Yeah, it's settled then. That's how we'll handle it.
All right,
one
that'll
bird,
work for
2
me.
stones. No, 2 birds, 1 no.
Something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Something with the birds and stones. Oh man.
Yeah.
Well,
we got it.
That brings us into the show. Now, we just talked about it. I'm gonna do the news first. Still, because we don't have much.
Okay.
So this is. So there's been QuakeCon, right? They did the Elder Scrolls Online panel at QuakeCon, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. While it happened, it was middle of the night, and I was out with a friend, and then so the week started, and we learned our deadline got cut by half, so we are now in full force development, and I didn't get a chance to do it. But there is one important part, a very important part from that panel, which is the upcoming performance improvement plans for the Elder Scrolls Online.
Yes.
Starting with Q4 2019, going until Q2, at least at the current plan, Q2 2020. And they have a lot planned, which hopefully will work. So I'm not gonna there's an article that you can find in the links below wherever you are listening this, that goes into more detail about every chapter and every bullet point that they are going to be doing for this these improvements. But they made a handy small chart that I'm going to go over. So for Q4, for the upcoming update, were you going to say something?
No, all I was going to say is, I know this doesn't sound super exciting, but let me tell you, it is. Okay?
Oh, it is.
And there was a reason for this. What is the one complaint you hear about ESO from non-fans, non-super fans? Its performance sucks. Yeah. How many times, even among super fans? Okay, big thing that annoyed all of us. the Mid-Year Mayhem and the dungeon event, how they had to take that away because their dungeon finder doesn't work that great.
Yep.
Like an event that we actually like doing, they took away. Like, that are even affecting the super fans. This level stuff needs to be done, and I think it'll bring it'll bring people back to the game. It'll change the opinion of people who are playing to get their friends back in. This right now, even though it's not pretty, is very important, and if done well, could have a tremendous effect on the game.
Yeah. I mean, see, I think we talked about this before on this show, but I'm even okay with them taking a full quarter. Don't release any DLCs, any zone, any dungeons, whatever. No in-game content. Just focus everyone on improvement. And I wouldn't be upset about it. I would be like, okay, this is needed for long term. So they are spreading out to 3 quarters, and I'm pretty sure like the people who are doing the performance improvements are not the same as the people who are actually creating like story content, zones, dungeons, things like that. So it doesn't make sense to just focus everybody on the same thing. But even if they did, I would be absolutely fine with that. No new content for a full quarter, but just pure, or even 2 quarters, I don't mind. Just pure performance improvements. So for Q4, for the upcoming update 24, they are doing a memory management overhaul, which will apparently hopefully result in less crashes, especially on consoles. And some of these, well, I read the article, and majority of these updates seem to sort of focus on the consoles, which sort of makes sense. I don't know the situation in consoles, but I guess they are having more issues than the PC side in terms of performance, crashes, things like that. Because it is mentioned a lot of times in the article.
If you're watching on us live and you play on a console, please let us know. The one thing I do know is that the Xbox One has way more than the PS4, but the Xbox One also has less performance. Like, it just does. It's documented. It has worse performance than the PS4. But yeah, the Xbox has tons more issues than all the other ones combined. Yeah.
And there you go. So another thing for Q4 is behind the scenes combat ability improvements part 1, because this is so almost all of these changes are like in parts. So they'll be spread out to different sections and constant patching and updates. Now this is the most important part. We've been saying, well, everyone's been saying that regardless of what they do, they just can't fix the group finder. It just doesn't happen. They tried over the course of years so many times, so many updates. They're like, okay, this time we fix the group finder, and just give it a couple weeks and it breaks. So I've been saying that code base, whatever that code base is, whatever is running that, it's broken to the point that you just can't fix it. Which happens, I know from experience. It happens. Even if you're a multi-million-dollar company, there are just sometimes codes that you just need to scratch. Just delete it entirely and write it from scratch. And they are actually doing that. Complete rewrite of the looking for group system.
That's, for those of you who don't know, that is intensive work. That's not something that's quick.
I mean, I am impressed that this is for the upcoming update 24. I would expect this to be a year-long thing, unless they already been doing it in the background silently for a year. But if they are actually just decided doing this, and they are going to rewrite the entire system in a few months, that's a feat. That's insane refactoring, and if they pull it off, hats off to every single developer on ZAS. Like, hopefully. Hopefully it'll work.
Right.
We have a dream. That one
We
day.
do. It honestly, it needs to work.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. Because if it doesn't, people are going to lose a lot of hope.
Yeah. I mean, like, there. I don't know the stats, obviously, but I assume this is one of the main things that either driving people away from the game or keeping them from actually getting into the game. Because, like, if you are a new player, you are happy that you just become unable to join the battlegrounds. Let's say you're a fully new player, level 10. Oh, you can join Cyrodiil and battlegrounds now. You queue, unable to queue at this time. What? And then you go take the Undaunted quest, and then you're like, okay, queue. Wait, unable to queue at this time. What does this mean? I mean, we know what it means because we've suffered from it for a long time, but for a new player, what does unable to queue at this time mean? Or what does someone declined the invite mean? That is, like, we know that it's a broken system that is causing it, but for a new player, someone declined the invite, someone declined the invite, someone declined the invite, and they'll just think, okay, there are a lot of people just trolling the group finder system by constantly declining invites. So hopefully it'll work. It'll be a huge thing for our existing community and for the upcoming ones. Mm-hmm. So for Q1 2020, update 25, patching overhaul. I actually don't remember. I read this, but I actually don't remember what that means. I'm just reading the bullet points now. Faster loading art fixtures and characters. I am always for less loading times because, I mean, at the moment I'm not suffering from them as much because I also got one of those like M2 SATA SSDs.
Oh yeah, what? They're beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah, 3.5 gigabytes of reading and writing. I finally actually go through the loading screens like a normal game. The problem is the ESO takes up 20% of it just by itself.
They're so expensive for like I only really put my my operating system and the main game I'm playing on it, and that's it.
I didn't even put my operating system on it. Like, I have my operating system on a normal standard SSD. Like one of those 500 megabytes read-write things.
Yeah.
And it's a small one, like 120 gigabytes. Yeah. But I only have... So what I have on that SSD, the special one, is ESO and stream stuff and rendering stuff. Because apparently, being able to write and read a lot faster also helps with the render speeds and whatnot, which I haven't confirmed, but made sense, and I was like, okay, it's not gonna, it doesn't take up too much space anyway, so I'm gonna do it. And I get sidetracked. Right, behind the scenes compatibility improvements part 2, frame rate improvements part 1, and server optimization and stability. Now this is another important part, especially for people who are logging in from far away. So Australians or Pacific people playing on North American mega server, I playing on North American mega server, or even European mega server, because I still get like 110 latency on European mega server, because I still have some distance between me and the, I guess the servers are in Frankfurt, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's right.
So this is gonna be focusing on more and more behind the scenes stuff. And then in Q2 of 2020, update 26, account database called storage. Now what this means is they are gonna put a threshold on the inactivity for accounts, and those who are the accounts that are inactive for over that period of time, they will be put in a different database. And it will remove the clutter of the active player database, so we'll have less login times, like the screen you get, so account logging in, whatever, I don't really remember, but so they're going to be reducing the loading times for the accounts as well. The only downside is, if you come back to the game after a while, after your account is transferred to the cold storage, you'll get a long loading time on your account, but it's just gonna happen once. And then frame rate improvements too, and then additional bug fixes and updates, and these are the only, like, there's gonna be a lot more apparently, but these are only for the next 3 updates from 24 to 26.
It's good.
Yeah,
It's real good.
yeah. What I really like, when I read account database, cold storage, something like that, I was like, wait, is that crossplay? And I read it in detail and I was like, okay, that's not crossplay. But maybe one day, even though they say they can't do it at, like, due to technical limitations, but you never know. In new technology, something might happen. Elder Scrolls Online 2 might release, and we might get crossplay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we always get new technology in this, in IT, so who knows? We might get something in the future.
Indeed, yeah. So, Kith the Traveler in chat asked, does it not work well now? And that is after Doctor Who said, can you imagine a workable group finder for the next dungeon event they do? Yeah, group finder. So if you are not playing on the prime time, so if the servers are not really filled up, and if the group finder is not under load, it works. So it usually works on the first try. But if there's an event, or if there's a reason that a lot of people are using the group finder, it starts breaking. And it just says, like, someone declined the invite when it's trying to form a group. And it just happens for a very long time, and there's no really workaround over it. So under load, group finder just breaks. Not under load, it's been working fine. But it really depends on the load. Oh! What I forgot. Reviews. I said we were gonna read the reviews, and I just skipped right into Tales. Not Tales, news. Oh my god, I'm all over the place. Okay, well, that was the news. So I can actually read the reviews.
Well, it's not
now.
all the news, right? There was a new Crownstore showcase, but we could do the review and then come back?
I was gonna skip the Crownstore showcase.
No, I want to talk about it.
Alright, well, then take it away and I rest my voice because it's been sore.
Okay. All right, let me pull it up here real quick. The
I'm
reason why I want
to
to talk about this particular Crownstore showcase is because for the first time in a very, very long time, I've seen something from the Crownstore showcase that I want, and I don't have crowns to get it, which sucks. So I need to buy more crowns. But I'm also subscribed for so long that I honestly think I have more subscription time than this game will logically last. So buying more sub time seems redundant at this point. But there is a bunch of new stuff for August. First up, if you're an ESO Plus person, they're giving away the Meridia statue, the bright statuette, the little time. So I definitely had to get that because of all the.
I just want to say, the way they photograph those miniature statues, the free ones.
You make them think they're bigger than what they are, right?
Yeah, you gotta give it to whoever is creating that image. It's a very, very good illusion. It's fantastic. It's like perfect.
So, the way this looks is it's in a Khajiit home, and there'll be a link in the description of the podcast below if you want to look at it. It's sitting on a table, but the way the picture is angled, it looks like it's in the corner of the house, and it would be the full size. The only thing that gives it away is this pile of coins that are next to it, and then you realize, oh wow, that really is just a tiny little statue.
Yeah.
But still. Yeah, no, fair enough. But that is available from August 1st to September 5th if you are an ESO Plus subscriber. Free.
I'll let you continue and go grab some water so I can actually keep speaking.
That's fine. So I'm really, really excited about that one. They're offering... I need some water as well. They're offering a 20% discount on all the Bandari Peddler Crown crates. Or at least for the 15 crates. Sorry, for the 15th crate from August 26th through the 3rd. And they're adding a few new Crown Gem exclusive items. The Sky Terror Dragon Slayer horse. There was that Dragon Slayer armor, so if you wanted to have that with it, there you go. And the Sky Terror Dragon Slayer pup. Those are both available from the 1st of August through the 15th, only for Crownstore gems. And I see Doctor Who that I hate her, Meridia. That's all I'm saying. Doc, I liked you so much until you said you hated Meridia, so it makes me sad. It makes me really sad.
I'm back.
They also added the Peddler Pack Pony to the Crownstore gems, which actually, if you had logged in, I think it was last month or 2 months ago, this was the cosmetic reward if you had logged in. They also added the Peddler Pack Spider, and those will be available from August 26th to September 3rd. The Peddler Pack Wolf Pup, that's new and super cute, is, again, all available through August 26th through September 3rd as well.
One thing, the Peddler Pack Wolf Cub looks like it's seen things. It looked into Oblivion and came back, yeah.
Doc, have you finished Somerset? Yes, I have, actually. And are you sure that you're thinking of the right person? Because Meridia wasn't included in that. It was,
No, Meridia was included in Somerset.
Well, she was with Darian, but...
Have you read the final book, though?
I think I probably have a while ago, but...
So...
I know.
I mean, it's been one chapter ago, so I'm gonna speak about it. Except that I can't because my throat is so sore.
Okay.
Right. So in the final book, basically Darian leaves back, and this is not a quest item or anything. You actually have to find it by chance or by listening to the environment where the guards are talking about it, like, oh, there's this weird book summoned upstairs, and I don't know why they are so casual about it, because a book summoned up in the palace. But they're pretty casual about it, and they,
to be fair, it's super magical. All the elf land is magical. So
I guess that makes sense. Anyway, so you go read the book, and it's a final, basically, like a memoir or whatever, diary from Darian Gautier towards you, and in there, he mentions that Meridia is actually not helping anyone. She is actually not good, which we know from like meta lore, but not really in the game. And that she is like forcing Darian, and she basically didn't save him, but more like enslaved him. So yeah, Meridia is not a good Daedra. And I feel like we'll get her as the main villain of one of the upcoming chapters.
Technically speaking, the Knights of the Nine expansion with Umarel the Unfettered was her. He was a champion of Meridia. He was the main bad guy for Oblivion, the Knights of the Nine expansion.
Right, sorry, I couldn't respond. Yeah, I'm here. My microphone was muted because I was coughing.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a thing. So, yeah, I know she's not... Honestly, the only Daedric prince who even really cares about her followers is... what's her face? The Dark Elves lover. Azura. Yeah. Only one, but almost all of them have their own somewhat agendas. Like, but Meridia is one of the more, all right, she's one of the more benign Daedric princes that causes the least amount of havoc. She is a little bit zealot. She's a zealot in terms of, because she's the Daedric prince of like energy, living energy.
Yeah.
So if you're a necromancer, oh yeah, she'll hate your guts and she will like burn down 50 nurseries of babies to kill you, but she she's like the anti-hero where her beliefs, whatever needs to be done, the means always justify it. Okay?
Right.
So enslaving Darien, for whatever purpose she has, and in this case, she sent Darien to help stop this cabal of the other Daedric princes. Yes, he may not have had a choice in it, but again, the ends always justify the means.
Yeah.
The greater good was that this cabal of the 3 Daedric princes was stopped, and however that had to happen, that had to happen.
Also, I'm gonna let you continue for a bit because I won't be able to speak much without coughing. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okay. Well, then let's
All
go
right.
ahead and actually talk about the rest of these things. The peddler pet is really super cute, too. The kitty, I like it. I want one. But still, those are all coming in for a very short period of time. Same that August 26th through the 3rd. But they're still really cool, and I actually really like them. And if I had more gems, I'd probably buy it. But that's not important. We'll get to what's important here in a second. New costume, the Summit Lord's Silken Robes is back. If you don't remember, the last time we saw that, I think, was when Orsinium came out. So definitely check that out if you're interested in that. The thing about Orsiniums is very Asian themed, like Chinese themed, but still pretty cool. We got the Dark Shaman, so if you kind of want a little bit of skimp wear, you can look at that. Albeit, they're definitely a butterface when it comes to that outfit, so keep that in mind as well. Oh, we got a traveling merchant costume coming. I had to look at this. When I saw a traveling merchant, I actually thought it was like a person you buy that will sell to. But no, this is actually... I actually like this merchant costume. It's fashioned in the Khajiit style, like very Arabian Nights, but still very cool. And that's from August 29th through September 3rd as well. The Meridian crafting motif is back, as well as the Teshi style, which if you didn't know, I think that's a PvP style, so it's kind of hard to get, but very Japanese themed, so if you're interested, check that out. Now, the thing that I'm most excited for is they're putting back the Elder Scrolls artifacts with the Sword of Jiggalag, which is the Daedric Prince of Order, who was then cursed to be the Daedric Prince of Madness, as we all love Sheogorath. This is a two-handed sword, and I want it so bad. It's available from August 15th to the 19th, and I have to have it. I want it. I need it. It needs to be a thing, so I'm super excited. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because of how excited I am specifically for this very sword. So definitely check those out. Lastly, from the cosmetic side, from what I'm seeing, I don't know, there's still a good bit of other things. All right, we'll kind of go through this fairly quickly. The Valendrith Arms Pack is also going to be available from the 28th of August to the 25th of September. So if you want to have Miss Give Me a Kiss, that's who she is, because she's a big spider, that's available. The Orsinium Collector's Bundle is now coming back, as well as the Scalebreaker DLC Pack. So you could check all of those out. That'll be pretty cool because, hey, if you wanted to get your collector stuff, that's now back. Event tickets are back once again, so if you missed out on getting your Indrik mounts, that might be a place you could buy it. We're getting the Malakath's Chosen Furniture Pack back. So if you are a follower of Malakath, there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. And in order to wrap it all up, you have the Malakath's Chosen Furniture Pack, and that just goes so nicely with Pariah's Pinnacle. The house in Orsinium is coming back. I'm excited for that one. That's this beautiful orcish stronghold in the mountains of Orsinium. And you can follow everything we do, dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There you find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all of that fun stuff. Be sure to check out our Patreon program if you want to help support the show over at patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork. That helps us out, helps us keep the metaphorical torches lit, and we really appreciate that. You can also leave us a review on iTunes. And I want to stress this. You guys don't understand how important iTunes reviews are for the process. So even if you don't use an Apple device, maybe set up an iTunes account anyway and leave us a review, because it really does help, like more than you could ever imagine. And we appreciate each and every 5-star review that we get. It helps people find us. It helps them us show up on more lists. So please consider doing that if you haven't done so already. We really appreciate it, and it really does help us out. Anyway, definitely leave those reviews so people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words. Sometimes they matter. And thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Tales of Tamriel, and we'll see you next time. See you later, everybody.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magica fused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to Chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.